Hello, everyone. Sorry, I was just trying. I was trying to be fast to sort of like top up my makeup because I've got a terrible cold, but I did not want to cancel this live. There was no way. It's going to be fun regardless of how I feel and how I look, or I feel like I look. How is everyone? And welcome to the Halloween special live and show. I want to say hello to the chat and the members that are here today. Gabrielle, as always, my trusted and beloved mod is here. Thank you very much for reminding everyone to keep this a respectful space. Zesty's in the house. Hello, Zesty. How are you today? Sorry, guys, if I seem off, it's because I'm off, but I'm doing my best. I've been medicated. I'm good. For now, I'm good. Okay. So if I lose it at some point, you know why. Amber, honey, how are you? Yes, I'm so glad. And I was just seeing, I just saw the photo of your little girl on Instagram and loved it. She grows fast. Wow. Madeline's in the house. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm sick too. I'm like, oh, why of all days, why today? But I'm good, guys. I'm good. I can't talk. Jan's in the house. Hello. We've got such a special show today, and I'm so excited. Kel is here as well. Hello. As you all know, Kempire and Georgia will be joining a bit later because they both have lives. They've got their own stuff going on. And as we speak, Kempire is live. But I know, Gabrielle, my wig, hold on. It's here, all right? I've been struggling to put this thing on, okay? I will when Kempire and Georgia come on. Because the thing is, it makes me feel really hot. And because I'm congested, I have a hard time breathing. So I'm going to wear it towards the end. But I've got it here. Here you go. There you go. So when I make a promise, I make a promise and I keep it. TJ's in the house as well. Thank you so much. I'll be fine. It's not that other thing, that other virus. So I'm very grateful for that. Right. Yeah. Pulling myself out today. Also, I feel that I'm feeling sick because of the eclipse that we just had. We're in between two eclipses. So we had a partial solar eclipse on the 25th, and now we have a lunar eclipse in Taurus on the 6th of November. So if everyone's feeling very drained and their energy's depleted, that's part of it. And it's also the collective energy that's changing. We'll talk about that on another video because I've got some updates about that. So Pepe's in the house. Hello, happy Sunday, happy Halloween. Officially Halloween's tomorrow, but this is Halloween weekend and we are going to have fun. Yeah, we'll talk about that when Kempire and Giorgio come on. That'll be nice. So, and I want to say hello to Rosie, and then I'll bring up a special guest, and I'm very grateful that she agreed to come on. And we've been talking about this for a while, and I've been saying that I want to bring on a paranormal investigator because we do talk about spirits and ghosts, and you guys have shared your experiences in past lives regarding hauntings and whatnot. And I thought the best day to actually have this conversation and to have a paranormal investigator on is today. Well, officially tomorrow, but it's Sunday. We're all really relaxed. So I thought today is the day. So I'm going to bring on June Nixon is the vice president of the Advanced Ghost Hunters of Seattle, Tacoma, also known as A.H.O.S.T. I love it. I think it's very catchy. She has traveled all over the world, US, Canada, Europe. We were just talking about that to investigate hauntings. And she is a horror movie buff, and we will be talking about that too, because I want to talk about our favorite horror ghost movies out there, since the day today is sort of like the veil is thinning. We're all feeling it. We're all getting excited because of Halloween, but we're also feeling that energy change and the mood is changing. So I'm going to bring June on. Give her a warm welcome, everyone.
Hi,
Hi, June.
everyone.
Hi,
Hello,
June.
hello.
I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you made it today. I am
Thank
super excited. I've got a
you.
list of questions. I never follow my list of questions. I have them there. I never follow them because usually I just go with the conversation, with the discussion. But so I know that you had a Halloween party yesterday.
I have to put that disclaimer on because, whoo, it is, I mean, it's 11 o'clock here in Seattle, but it's just like, oh my gosh, we had a really fun time. A lot of people came. We also invited a lot of people in the neighborhood, and they came, and a lot of my ghost hunting friends, they came. It was just like, wow, it was really nice. Most of it was outside, so we were hoping it wasn't a spreader, is what we call, the COVID spreader.
Mhm. Well,
We
we'll
had it
find out.
outside with a bonfire, and
Nice.
it was really, really nice. So yeah.
How nice. So let's start. So we talked a little bit. So well, we didn't really, because I never want to start that discussion backstage. I like to start the discussion, the conversation going live, because a lot of things come up. So one thing though that we did touch upon a little bit is about the ghost hunting shows. Okay, let's start with that, because that's what people can relate most.
All
So
right.
the last 15 years, it's become like a huge thing, these ghost hunting shows, paranormal investigating shows. Back in the day, because I'm a big fan, but back in the day, I can tell you that I feel that they were more pure, they were more genuine than they are now. Now they're so sensationalized for the sake of viewership, for the sake of, creating the mood,
Right.
creating this factor. So I wanted to hear a little bit about your experience. You're there, you're actually doing this. You're not, this is not a show. You don't have cameras following you around. So I would love to hear your experience. How does it start off? What time do you start? How many hours does it take? What kind of equipment do you use? Everything. We want to know everything.
Well, I can tell you too first that I started this in 2005, and I got into it because I didn't believe in any of it. I watched the
Mm,
ghost shows and I thought this is all a bunch of crap. I was like, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to prove and debunk everything and show that this is all stupid. And so I actually started taking classes and I started learning a lot more about these things. And I found a few groups, and it wasn't until I got into a ghost where I really found my people and everyone that was, yeah, I just absolutely love them. So that was kind of the main reason I got into this, is watching the ghost shows thinking this is all stupid. But now, of course, since I'm the vice president and client coordinator in our group, I found that there are a lot more unanswered questions than I have answered questions. Um,
mm,
I've seen a lot of things that I can't explain. I am a bit of a skeptic, so it takes a lot for me to say it's paranormal. But I've had a lot of experiences that I was like, I have to say it's paranormal because there are no other explanations for it. When you see a shadow with no body, no person around, um, you know, or when you hear a little girl ask you how you're doing in a old bar at 4 o'clock in the morning, um, and there are no children anywhere close around, it's like, there must be something going on here. but
mhm.
but I do. We have my friends and we have a streaming thing that we watch a lot of the ghost shows, and we call it Ghostly Cinema. And it's kind of like, I don't know if like Mystery Science Theater 3000, where you pick apart, you kind of make fun of things. Well,
Oh,
because we're just having fun, but it's also very frustrating when you're watching these things and you're just like, And then you have people I have people contact us and say, I think there's a demon in my house, and I think there's demons everywhere. And these shows are so focused on the evil presence, and everything. And it makes me really mad. I have to say, there are times I actually shout at the TV, like, "You've got to be kidding. Oh my God, this is horrible." Um, but yeah, if somebody actually, I mean, we've had people that joined our group, and we kind of have an orientation period where they follow an investigator, everything like this, and they're like, this is really boring. It's like,
Mm.
it's extremely boring. You have to sit there in the dark asking questions, and we do experiments and things like that to see if we can get, like I said, I think a lot of spirits, or, people without bodies, per se, they might just want to get a message across to someone. We had an investigation one time where we got a very clear EVP, which is an electronic voice phenomenon. We didn't hear it with our ears, but we heard it on the audio recorder. And we were at this woman's house, and we got a very clear EVP that said, "I think she smokes too much." And it was just like this thing,
Wow.
and it sounded like an elderly man. And there was another one in the same voice. He said, "I still remember the blue prom dress." And we played it for our client, and she listened. She was like, "Oh my God." She goes, "I think that's my grandpa." And
Oh.
it was just like, after that, everything left in her house. I mean, she didn't have the weird cold feelings anymore or anything like that. And it was just like, he wanted to get that message across, I think, to her, just to say, "I think she smokes too much." And I said, "Well, maybe
They
grandma."
always find a way. I tell this to my clients, they always find a way to communicate something if they don't like it. A lot of times I do mediumship, and suddenly the first thing that comes up, that happened recently with a client, and their I think grandmother came through, and the first thing that she said was like, "Watch what you're eating. You're eating too much." And she like cracked up because she's like, "Yep, that's my grandma." It's just like they
Oh,
have a way.
that's true. That's true.
What
But
is what is your thought on, I mean, you use different tools to do this. Obviously, you have like special cameras, EVP, what are they called? Not EVPs, EMFs. So you
yes,
have EMFs, etc. You have all these. What do you think of spirit boxes? Because now this is becoming like a huge thing, and I want to hear your opinion.
honestly, and it's a very unpopular opinion, but we don't use spirit boxes in our group because, I mean, not saying that we, sometimes for experiments,
Mm-hmm.
do kind of, every once in a while just bring it out for a few minutes just to see, but we usually keep it just on the static.
Mm.
Sometimes we've gotten full sentences and not from the radio shows or the different, because with a spirit box, it just it just kind of circulates on radio stations. And so
Yeah.
supposedly the spirits are supposed to pull out words to try to make sentences to get in
Mm-hmm.
contact with you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that is way too suggestive. I think I always call it the instant ghost phenomenon. When TV shows aren't really getting anything, let's pull out the spirit box. And
Right.
9 out of 10 times, you're going to hear something that you can, did that just say kill Zach? Oh my God, it did. It's just like, oh God.
I
No.
know. I'm not a fan of spirit boxes either.
But, that's not saying, I had, when we were investigating this old museum in Port Gamble, Washington, which is this beautiful little town, um, my friend turned on the spirit box and I just kind of ignored it. I was looking at some creepy wedding gown or something. And all of a sudden you heard June, 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 June. I mean, loud and clear through it. And all of a sudden I was like, I turned around and I said, did that thing just, and they were like, yeah, that said June. I said, then they said, June, say something. And I said, do you know me? And clear as day, one person, I mean, it was like a one voice said, save us from the fire.
Oh.
And come to find out, the furniture where it was saying was in a fire in Port Ludlow in the next town over, and they had pulled some of this beautiful old antique furniture and put it in this museum. But I don't know why they said that to me because, but I actually had been to the town so many times that, my friends are like, of course they know you.
You know you by now.
But it was very interesting, I have to say. But yeah, we're not a fan of using those. And like I said, we do call it the instant ghost phenomenon because when things get slow, let's pull out the spirit box or the ovulus, which is another thing that you're telling me that a ghost can come back and pick words out of this electronic box to say to you. And of course, it's going to say demon. But do you know a lot of these boxes and things like that have GPS in them? They have voice recognition. And a lot of people don't understand that these things are for entertainment purposes only.
Exactly.
So sorry, I'm rambling.
It's okay because I wanted to hear your opinion because I've never liked them. I think that now they're not, they are a tool, but they're not the tool to communicate with, spirits. I think and also, as you said, sometimes these things can be manipulated by your own energy.
Yeah.
Your own energy can manipulate them.
I believe that too.
So that's why I wouldn't rely on them. Madeline is asking, so are these spirits hanging around all the time, or do they show up when we are asking for them, or is it old energy, not a spirit?
That's really a good question. Sometimes you kind of wonder, it's like, are you summoning them, to come to you? But part of me just thinks they're maybe just hanging around, and when you start to communicate with them, they're like, oh, hey, somebody's trying to get in touch with us, or it's like, hi, or I don't know. It's like, I know everybody, I can talk a taboo subject was the Ouija board. A lot of times I think a Ouija board is the same as doing an EVP session. But I think with a Ouija board, it's your intent. Some people might have evil intentions and might, not really know what they're doing with those. But I honestly do not think they're evil. I think that they are another form of communication, and maybe you are more intense, and I don't know.
I see what you mean, because there are people that they're more in touch with that dark side. We all have the dark side and the light side with the yin and yang.
Right.
There's the feminine and the masculine energy. So, there's always a balance when it comes to us human beings. So I do understand what you mean. Someone, especially if they're going through some stuff, they can be more in tune with their dark side.
Right.
So that can really come out easily. And I think that applies to the spirit box too. And all those demons that we see on TV, because I keep telling to people, guys, don't believe in demons per se. It's not this whole,
I think if a person is a jerk in life, they're probably going to be a jerk in death.
They are, trust me, they are.
So it's like a lot of times when there's one thing. Ross Allison is our president and founder of the group. He's also written quite a few books, and he's released this documentary that's going to be out November 15th called Parasense. And he's got a scientist working with him where they're showing that the spirits who can touch. They're trying to prove touch with spirit activity, basically. And it's really fascinating. But Oh, Ross, sorry, I totally lost my train of thought. But
Okay.
Ross, but Ross always says, go with what you know and not with what you think you know. And that
Mm,
applies to some of these people that get in contact with us and say, I think I have a demon in my house. And it's like, why do you think you have a demon in the house? Because, I came in and the cupboard was open. It's like, oh, that really doesn't sound like evil activity. You know?
but people associate because of pop culture and the film
Yeah,
industry, and sorry for interrupting, when you have movies like The Poltergeist, The Conjuring, et cetera, which we'll talk about later, it is people associate like energetic or like very strong energy and activity in the house with demons, poltergeists,
right. Yeah,
whatnot. But no, it
yeah.
doesn't, some people can actually do that because we are made of energy. Some people
Mhm.
have such a very strong energy that when they're relaxed they can actually move and create things to move around them, and they don't realize because they go into this trance. So
That's
that's
yeah.
going to be a fascinating documentary actually for for everyone to watch.
And that is, poltergeist activity. You think of poltergeist, and in German, it's called a noisy ghost. But
Hmm.
they have, see people like adolescents who are going through a lot of hormonal craziness. Women in menopause are other, can cause this energy. If your cabinets are opening and things are flying around the room, it just might be you and your energy, instead of a,
And the husband is out the door. He's like, "Uh-oh, she's PMSing again. I'm out. I'm out."
some people are just stronger in that, in that
Oh,
way
that's
than
true.
others. I honestly think that I have, the psychic ability of a piece of gravel or a turnip. It's like but there are exceptions to every rule.
Mhm.
Every once in a while, something will come up, and I'm just like, wow, how did I know that, or what happens? But
That's intuition. That's intuition.
very
That's the third
interesting.
eye. That's connecting. Do you work with psychic mediums in very haunted places?
We do. We do. I mean, every once in a while, we will get someone that does blow my socks off, I have to say. Um, you can't just come in our group and say, oh, I'm a psychic medium. You
Yeah.
actually have to kind of go through some things. We give everyone a chance to kind of build up their practice
Mhm.
basically their abilities, because sometimes you may think you have a little bit of abilities, but if you don't use it, you kind of, I would say, you kind of lose it, or you can't build it up. But we have worked with some people, and it's just like, anybody on an investigation goes in there cold. We don't tell anybody any
Mhm.
information. We say, okay, this is going to be a house in Burien, Washington, or this is
Mhm.
going to be a business in Burien, Washington, or something like that, or Port Gamble, or wherever. And we don't want to give anybody any details about it, because if they are, showing some signs of psychic ability, everything like that, we want to give them a chance to,
Mhm.
but they have to write down everything. So if you walk into a room and say, oh my God, my head hurts when I walked into this room, write that down. And then if somebody else comes in that room and says, oh my God, I got the worst headache when I walked into that room, and write that down, that shows more credibility
Yeah.
with a lot of things they're doing. And it kind of gives you a boost saying, hey, maybe I do have something, and maybe I can,
Mm.
work this. But we've had somebody who has, the clients will tell us every single thing, about what was going on, everything. And then she came in and said the exact same things, and she didn't know anything about what was going on. And the first thing, the client was like, this, we're getting weird footsteps going down the hallway. It sounds like there's a whole bunch of people walking through our house sometimes. And that's the first thing that she said when she came in is, I feel like there's so many people walking through this house. And we were trying to figure out, where is this house? I mean, what is this,
Mm.
a gateway to some place that these people are just walking through? And some of them walk down the hallway to see what's going on that way. And we got some really interesting footsteps, and it was fascinating, absolutely. But this woman who came in, she was really on point, and it was pretty interesting. And
Does she send them to the light as well? So is it that she sort of channels through messages and then sends them off?
well, it just depends if they want to go. I think that that is a big thing right there. Um, Sometimes I think being an investigator and trying to get in contact with the spirits, it's almost like you're a psychiatrist, or not a psychiatrist, but a counselor. And you're like, okay, why are you still here? What
Hmm.
is holding you here?
Right.
Why don't you want to go on to your next, the next part of your afterlife? What's keeping you here? Is there anything we can do? Any message we can give? Is there anything you'd like us to do for you? To help you move on. Um, we do that, but we don't, we're not, I guess you say, Ghostbusters. We're trying to
Yeah.
figure out what's going on. We're also trying to help the client. Now, when I say client, we don't charge for investigations. I just want to make that clear, because some people are like, how much do you charge? And it's like, nothing. This is a passion for us. Um,
Mm.
but
But
we
do you choose, how do you choose the locations that you go to or the clients that you, is it according to how much activity they have, or is, okay.
they get in contact with us, and usually I'm the person that they talk to. And if I think they're not, a little cray cray, I don't want to say that bad, but there are people that, just
So,
maybe are a little obsessed with some of the
mhm.
ghost shows, and everything.
Yeah.
And then they want, us to come in and, whatever. But no, actually, if they contact us and we set up a walkthrough first. Usually me and maybe a couple others will go into a place. We'll kind of look around just to make sure. We do have code words if we feel like we aren't safe.
Okay.
We never go
Okay.
any place by ourselves. That's a big thing.
Well, how big is your team
Well,
normally?
we have about 70 members, but we have
Oh,
30 members that are pretty active.
no,
Uh,
I mean at a
oh,
time
I'm
during
sorry.
the investigation. No, yeah,
Well,
sorry.
it depends how big the place is. If it's a small house, usually 4 to 5 people at the most. If it's a bigger, like a museum or something, 6 to 8 people. But we have to make sure we know where we are, and that we don't have anything that can contaminate any kind of footage evidence that we catch. We have to make sure it's not contaminated. So
Sure.
we have this old Victorian home we love to investigate, that has like a basement, middle floor, other floor, and an attic. So we try to make sure
Mm.
we at least have a room, one floor in between if we break up into two teams. That's pretty important. Or if there's too many people, we send a couple other people, like, to the graveyard that's not too far away, that has supposed to
That
have a lot
makes
of
sense.
people there
So
and everything.
you don't hear them, so it's not like they
Yes.
contaminate or they, yeah, that makes absolute sense. Let me ask one more question, then I'm going to bring out my friends and fellow creators who are backstage. Um, we talked about, oh yeah, so the next question would be, how, how some ghost hunters, and it's possible it happens because I lived in haunted homes in the past, that you get attachments. Have you had such an experience, and what did you do?
Honestly, I have not had an attachment, and I've been doing this since 2005.
Hmm.
Um, but I make sure that I'm extremely respectful. And when I leave a place, I always say, thank you so much for letting us investigate here.
Right.
Thank you so much for us to coming into your home or coming into this business. Please stay here. This is where
Mhm.
this is where you are, basically, and please don't follow me. And I've had a few interesting things coming into my home, but I think it was my mother one time. It was on her death anniversary, I guess.
Oh,
I
okay.
smelled her perfume, everything, and I saw a shadow, and I knew that she must have been coming to say hello. But I've never really had anything, follow me. Or if I did, I just ignored it, didn't realize it.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay,
it's
but you
totally
didn't feel it at home or anything like
right.
that. Yeah, that's the best thing. It's like what I do with the readings as well. It's like once you open a circle of trust, a circle of communication with the other side, you've got to close it, because if you
Right.
don't, it's just allowing anyone or any entity to come through.
Right.
And that's a very good point. Also, another good point, I would presume, and then we'll get to Julia's question, and I'm bringing Kempire and Giorgio up, is I assume I lost my trail of thought now. It's because I've got this cold.
I'm so sorry. I understand that.
Well, you've been partied out. I've got a cold. Great, but we're doing okay.
We're a good team.
I think we're doing okay. The chat will let us know if we're not making any sense.
We're like, what's going on?
What are those two talking about? What was the no? Well, give me a minute to get to that question. So we'll, if you can answer Julia's question, which is, do you ever have footage that disappears after seeing it once?
Nothing that really disappears after seeing it once, but it is really interesting that it is really interesting that we have seen things with our own eyes and it doesn't show up on the camera, which is really strange. And especially if there's two of you that might see like a shadow or a mist or something, and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm seeing this with my own eyes. And you're like, cool, I have my camera right here. And it doesn't show up. And it's just like, oh, come on. What's wrong with you? But I swear, we seen it, or we heard it with our own ears. Like we heard, we hear sometimes voices or whatever that don't show up on the audio recorder.
You don't, huh?
Or there was one time my friend and I were investigating this old morgue. She got a baby crying on her recorder, which is really something. I had my recorder. We were like
Wow.
2 feet apart. I didn't get anything. So that is really fascinating to me too. So yes, I have not recorded something and then it disappears, but
it's energy, it's electricity, it's so much. There's so many factors factoring in that obviously that's why if we had all the answers and all the proof in the world right in front of us, guys.
Well, we will one day when we're when we are part of it.
I agree. Yes. I agree 100%. So let me bring up Kempire and Georgia. You will love them. So Kempire and Georgia are in the house. Hello and welcome, guys. Thank you. Happy Halloween, June.
Hi. Happy Halloween.
Oh, what's wrong with your voice? I thought I was the only one sick.
Uh-oh. No, who, me? No, my sinuses.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Nothing abnormal.
Okay. So really quickly, just to let them know, because they just came in, June is a paranormal investigator and vice president of hold on, I've got it here, the ghost hunting of Seattle, Tacoma. Am I saying it right?
It's the Advanced Ghost Hunters of Seattle, Tacoma. So you were close. You were very close.
It's the congestion.
It's a ghost.
It's a ghost, which I love. I absolutely love. It's so marketable as well. So, and we're talking about her experiences and what she's been doing and how she's experienced her paranormal investigations. Do you guys have any questions? One question that comes up in the chat, and I wanted to ask you, was which one was the most haunted or the most haunted location that really sort of is very memorable to you, and why?
Wow. I've just had so many amazing places. We got to stay a few days in Roslyn Castle in Scotland, which was really incredible. We had a lot of really cool experiences there. But, even though Seattle is only I mean, basically, it was founded in the 1850s. So it's relatively a new, you know, city, basically. Compared to most places in the United States. But we have a lot of haunted locations. One that I absolutely love is one of my favorites. Besides the Seattle Underground, there were a lot of murders and things like that happened in the Seattle Underground in the early days. So we've gotten a lot of evidence there. But the other place is in Port Gamble, in the Walker Ames house in Port Gamble, Washington. A lot of activity there. And I don't know if it's just because the whole area is on limestone and quartz and everything else, if there's a big concentration of that, and maybe a lot. And it was a lumber mill. It was also a site of a very bad massacre back with the Native Americans and soldiers, of course. So might be a lot of bloodshed and quartz and energy and everything else in that area where a lot of spirits like to hang out. They also have a lot of weddings in that town too, and sometimes I think they just like to go and love the energy.
That's true. Sorry. So the chat saying there's an echo, so I'm not sure if is your mic too close to your speakers, June?
Maybe. Let's see. Oh, now I don't hear it, or maybe I do.
I think it's better now. What do you say, chat? Thumbs up if it's okay. I think I'm echoing, probably.
It's a teeny echo, but not horrible. I'm not sure.
I can hear it though. I mean, those are the issues with StreamYard, unfortunately. So I don't know. Yeah. Oh, me as well. Okay. Julia says that it's me as well. Hold on. Let me just. I don't know why. Is it better now, everyone? Is it better? I think so. Well, the show must go on. There's nothing we can do. Right. Yeah. Oh, Gabrielle says, do I still have it? Okay. Right. So, I don't know, Giorgio and Kemp, like both of you are very spiritual. You believe in all these things, you believe in spirits and energy and ghosts, etc. First of all, my first question to both of you, since June is here, have you had an experience with a ghost or a spirit?
No. Not per se, but I think when my grandfather passed, I could hear he had a very prominent footstep. So when he walked in the house, you could definitely know it was him. So there was that moment where quickly it sounded like he was walking down the hallway. But that was the only thing that ever happened. The only other thing that has happened to me in the past is when I've suffered from sleep paralysis. That's probably the scariest thing, I think.
Kemp's face is like, what?
No, it's awful.
Spirits, they hide from me. Maybe because they know I'm gonna be like, okay.
Bring it on.
I was gonna say, you're in tours. You're gonna say, I'm hangry. Get away. Now's not the time.
I mean, I did light some incense before this, so just saying. I mean, they know I believe. Okay. But I do have a question.
Go on.
Actually, I have a couple of questions.
Go ahead.
First of all, nice to meet you, June. Same name.
Nice to meet you.
Couple of questions. The first one is, do you notice that there's sort of an uptake in activity around this time of the year, especially like Halloween?
Well, one thing I always, my theory I have about that is that there are so many people that all of a sudden they're, it's the spooky season. I think a lot of people are actually, thinking more about spirits and everything else. I really don't know about, the veil getting thinner around this time where so many people, believe that. Maybe there is something to it. I do know that we get a lot more clients, people that want to have us investigate around this time, which is interesting, so, it's like, are they just wanting, they're wanting something to happen because it's like they can tell all their friends, oh, I have a ghost, we have proof now, which sometimes we do get proof. but yeah, maybe it is that more people are thinking about it, and maybe it brings them out a little more.
Is there a specific time that you've noticed within your business that, outside of Halloween, that there really is more activity that we should be looking out for?
Honestly, though, we have found sometimes after a really bad thunder and lightning storm, sometimes it's like I don't know if the air is charged with all the ions and everything like this, but we have found that some of the investigations we get a lot more evidence after this, which is fascinating to me. And sometimes even with a full moon, we get, actually not with the full moon. It's more the crazy people that come out. It's like people walking around. Like, oh yes, it is. But it's just, it's so random. Even a lot of people are saying, do ghosts just come out at night? And it's like, they come, they're 24/7. It's just that at night when people notice things a lot more. So it's like, say during the day you're busy doing all your stuff, people are mowing the lawns, kids are out there playing. There could be a ghost tap dancing right next to you, and you're not gonna really pay that much attention because you got the TV up kind of loud or something. And then
are you doing something?
and then at night, all of a sudden you still have the TV on. You're like, oh my God, that's so loud. And you turn it down because your senses are so much more heightened at night.
True.
You're starting to hear more things. You're starting to hear the footsteps walking down the hall or the tap dancing ghost beside you. It's just like,
that's very specific.
Yeah. That would be awesome, though.
Guys, have you watched 28 Days Haunted on Netflix? I'll bring it up.
Oh no.
No.
Okay. So, because we talked about this with June, and I want to bring it up a little bit because June is like, oh, I know what's coming. Okay, so 28. I'll be nice. I promise.
I'm going to try to be nice.
Me too. I'm not paranormal investigator, so I don't have to be nice. But 28 Days is based on the premise of Ed and Lorraine Warren, who are the most known demonologists out there. Okay, and they said that you need 28 days in a haunted space or in a haunted in a haunted home, okay, and you need to be there for 28 days in order to completely drop that veil and communicate with the spirits and whatever is haunting that place. So Netflix decided, I'm just going to take 3 groups of paranormal investigators, throw them in 3 different haunted locations for 28 days, give them any kind of tool that they want, spirit boxes, EMF, anything. I'm echoing, right? I can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I'm so sorry, everyone. So there's nothing I can do about that right now. But
yeah,
I don't. No, I think it's me. I've got to mute me, but that's impossible. So, but bottom line is, I think there's 6 or 7 episodes, June. I don't remember. But if we thought Ghost Hunters, the actual show, has been sensationalized lately, go and watch 28 Days Haunted. Because, guys, that for me, it's like, you've got to watch it. It's got everything in it. A demonologist. I can be rude if I want to. Yeah, demonologist, okay, who gets possessed by an evil entity in this, I don't know what this place they were in.
Was it North Carolina, South Carolina? It was one of the Carolinas.
Somewhere in the South. There's that. Then there was another one where they start being really hard on themselves. They start having these tantrums. that goes.
Oh.
So I want to get to that a little bit. You've got to watch it for entertainment purposes, basically. Okay, and just to have a nice little laugh.
A
Because there's
lot of crying. There's so much crying. Sorry.
Wait, hold on. So it sounds as if that, you guys don't take it seriously then.
Yeah, like I guess are these not credible people?
I want to watch it if it's real.
Well, it's supposed to be real, and
Yeah.
they kind of went over the top, I think, on a few things, especially the ones in the South. Let's just say that I went over to a friend's house, and we thought, oh, let's just watch it, during the day while we drink. And I might not, my vision might have been a little obscured. But it was bad when he was getting possessed, and then all of a sudden he starts trying to talk to the demon, and he's yelling louder and louder, "Demon, be gone!" And then he starts screaming, "Get back! Get back!" And then
it was crazy.
we were laughing so hard that
It was crazy town. It was crazy town. They used spirit boxes, and spirit boxes were so specific.
they were very well. No, they weren't specific. A lot of times it was like, "Oh my God, it's gonna stab me in the back" or something. It's like, what? I didn't hear that. What did they say? We were just like, the more it went on, the more we were laughing harder and harder. And I almost had an asthma attack because it was just so.
All I have to say is, guys, if you've got half an hour to spare, go to IMDb and look at the reviews of that show. Look at the reviews of that show. I mean, come on. It's ridiculous. There's a lot of sound effects and a lot of music and a lot of this and the editing. And you're like, this is ridiculous right now. It's actually because it's actually not serving you legit paranormal investigators. And it's not doing any good for you guys, because this was ridiculous.
Yeah, because I thought, people think we're crazy anyway, and watching something like this is like, oh yeah, June, so you're a paranormal investigator. Let's stay away from her because she's gonna get possessed and start flying around the room any minute.
So you've never been possessed before?
Well, there was this one time. No, I haven't.
Oh.
Oh, God. Spill it.
But honestly, though, I mean, not possessed, but sometimes when you walk into a room and there's a really sad energy, and you just kind of feel, oh, I feel really, kind of sad. And like in our group, we write that down, saying I felt really sad when I, like in Waverly Hills in the old sanatorium there. There's this one room, 502, that supposedly, well, I don't think it's even supposedly. I think there actually is something that a nurse hung herself in this room. And there's so many different speculations that she was either pregnant, she came down with tuberculosis, something like that. But there is a really strong energy when you walk in that room, and you're just like, oh man, and I feel it's really sad. Or it could have been like the 5 flights of steps I walked up and I died. But
I think as humans, we do that. We try to rationalize all of what we're experiencing, and we don't take that first initial thought, which usually is what it is.
Exactly. I'm trying to listen to that voice a lot more, because a lot of times I do dismiss it because of my stupid skeptical mind. That I'm just like this, I'll walk in someplace and go, oh, wow, I don't like this room, and think, oh, June, come on, you're just tired. You need, a cracker or something. And, they feel like you want to stab people, but there are times you walk into a room and you're just like, oh, I'm just so mad, I'm so angry. But then you find out several other people walked into the room and felt the same, like all of a sudden an anger flash. But I wouldn't call it getting possessed or anything. I would just feel like maybe you're picking up on some kind of residual energy that might still be there, and you're just like, And my best friend Ross Allison, who is the leader of our group and has written all these books, all this stuff, we usually investigate together. And I haven't stabbed him yet, but I'm just kidding. He's like my brother, so I'm like,
I don't live in a haunted house and I'm not possessed, and sometimes I feel like stabbing my husband, but just joking, guys.
Those things.
Just joking, but I want to ask if the chat, because I know June has had a long night, so we will let you go soon so you can get a cup of coffee and a nice brunch. But I want to ask the chat if you guys have any questions for June before she goes, and then we have the second part of the show, which is with Georgia and Tempar, because I've got some other stuff also planned out. So hold on. Data says, hey Data, never experienced a ghost or a spirit my entire life until my grandma died. When she would visit me, it was very clear. It was always clear, never questionable or creepy. Yeah, if it's creepy, it's normally someone, you feel the energy. If you feel comfortable, or if you feel, emotional, if a spirit makes you feel that way, it's normally someone, a loved one. It's so many, even it could even be a relative that you never met in your life, but you're related to them, and from the other side they just come in. If you feel that uneasy, it's not a demon, it's not a poltergeist. It just means that it's some kind of energy, entity that has that energy, because a lot of spirits, when they cross over, they still carry a lot of that energy that they had with them. So if they were grumpy, or if they were like misanthropists, in this world, usually when they come up to me, at least when I do mediumship, when I do readings, then that's exactly what I'm going to pick up, like that energy. And it doesn't mean that that's how they are over there. It's just that's how they are when they show up, when they come through. Oh, Gabrielle, did you go to Winchester House or the famous Amityville?
Honestly, I have not gone to the Winchester mansion, but Ross Ellison, he went, and they got to do an investigation back in the day there, and he got some incredible evidence there that is really cool. One is a picture, and if it wasn't from Ross, I would actually be questioning it, because it's really it's like a little outline of a little girl with a bonnet on, and it's so clear. Like I said, if it wasn't from Ross, I would really question it if anybody else had showed it to me, because I'd be like, oh wow, that's a little too good to be true. But I trust him, with my life, everything, and I believe, anything that he says. So that was incredible. But and he's also been to the Amityville house. He didn't say he didn't get anything in there. Not saying it's not haunted, because as they say, you need 28 days. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. But honestly, not saying it's not haunted. But you never know. Uh-oh, Natalie, you're not.
Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid the echo, but it's June who's echoing, I realized. So sorry about that.
I'm so sorry.
It could also be StreamYard.
It's StreamYard, it's not you. It's StreamYard. It does that when it's like normally more than 2 or 3 people on a panel. Data became a member. Yay, Data. Thank you. Thank you so much. So have you investigated Savannah, Georgia?
We have.
And Jan's got a picture with people that were not there, what we're saying before.
Savannah is amazing. I absolutely love Savannah. We got to investigate the Marshall House, which is this really cool place, and this other place right in the square, and I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's a beautiful old mansion. And we got to investigate it. It was so cool. Oh my God, I can't really think what it is. My brain is not firing. I need some energy in my brain.
You need coffee. It's been a long night.
Yeah. And in Bonaventure Cemetery, we just kind of walked around with our audio recorders and everything, and it was pretty cool just being in there. I don't think we got anything, but the energy there is it's beautiful. I mean, it's the most beautiful place to be laid to rest with, magnolia trees and moss coming down. It's beautiful there. It really is. It's like that. Savannah is amazing. I love it.
Savannah must have really incredible energy over there.
Yeah.
Like you can feel it everywhere, I feel. And that's why I want to go to the South in the US. I really want to go to New Orleans, Charleston. I feel that energy there is just so incredible. There's so much history and so much
And the
energy.
Myrtles Plantation down in Louisiana and Nottoway Plantation are just incredible places with really incredible history. Not the history that they tell. They tell, and you do a lot of research and find out that those stories really probably aren't true. But that's not saying there isn't something there, because there really is something there. And it's just that energy everywhere. And Gettysburg was amazing too.
Gettysburg,
Yeah.
That must be incredible. Right. So before you go, June, and we let you go and have your coffee and whatnot, please let everyone know where they can find you, your website. Everything is linked down below anyways. But if you want to share your social media handles, how can people get in touch with you, etc.?
Oh, sure. You can go to ghost.org, A.G.H.O.S.T.org. And, if you want to ask me any questions, there's a contact form. You can even jump on there and ask me. And I'm the one that gets all the emails from the website, and I can answer the emails. So yeah, if anybody has any questions or wants to tell me any stories, I love to listen. Everything.
Perfect. And you know what? We might have you on again if you ever want to come back.
Maybe
and then
we can even talk more horror movies.
I was thinking that. Yeah, we can talk more horror movies. We have so much to talk about, June.
Yes, I know.
So, we need hours and hours on end.
Can I ask one last question?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sure that a lot of people, and maybe you answered this already, for someone that can't necessarily get you or afford you, I don't know how much you
No, we don't charge.
Oh, you don't charge? Or you're not able to get to, because there are ghosts everywhere. What are some tips that you could give the audience and people that are watching the replay of this that they can do to shoo away ghosts themselves, or notice that there are ghosts in their home?
Well, like I said, a lot of times, sorry, my reminder's going off on Alexa telling me to take my multivitamin. So it's not a ghost. But I always tell people we're not really Ghostbusters. We don't try to get rid of spirits. We try to talk to them and see why they're here. I think a lot of times too, if people are afraid that they have something around them and people are scared, to really sit down at a table, or you don't have to be at a table, but really sit down and say, this is my house now. You're scaring me. Unless they're a jerk, which I said, if they're a jerk in life, they're probably going to be a jerk in death. But unless they're a jerk, maybe they will hopefully back off, and you just kind of tell them that you're scaring me. Please don't materialize in front of me. Please don't touch me. Please don't do these things, because it scares me. I think a lot of times people will kind of, people without bodies, I guess you'd say, people will kind of back off a little bit and say, oh, sorry, I didn't realize I was doing that. I'm trying to get in touch with you, but if you don't want to be in touch, I will just back off. And sometimes when we come in and get our audio recorders out, say, do you have a message that you want to get to somebody? And hopefully we'll get an answer, and hopefully the activity will slow down or stop. So I don't know if that really says anything, but
Perfect. So June, we'll have you back on very, very soon for sure. We've got so much. As I said, I've got a list of questions. But thank you so much for doing it, especially the day after the night of your Halloween party. So
it was fun and worth everything it was worth it. It's worth the feeling right now. The hangover right now, it's really worth it.
Oh, I know the feeling. Well, I rarely say that about hangovers, but anyways, yeah. No. Thank you so much, June, for being here, for giving us your time.
Love it.
And
Nice meeting you, June.
Awesome.
Have a nice day. Have a lovely Halloween tomorrow.
Oh, you too.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, June.
Oops. Well, hi, boys.
Hello.
Hello, how are you? Wow, we could have gone. Who said what? I didn't hear that.
That was scary.
Was that scary?
I mean, some of the things that were discussed were scary.
Can you imagine being in like a very sort of scary space and having to ghost hunt for like 8 hours at night? I wouldn't be able to do it, honestly. I that's why I love watching these shows, and I really appreciate Paranormal Investigators because, wow, it's incredible, and the things that they, the things that they experience as well. But as June said in the beginning before you guys showed up, that is actually pretty boring, which is why they sensationalize like all these shows using music, sound effects, because it takes hours. It takes such a long time to get something for something to come through. So
that makes sense. They always make it seem like it's just happening, like as their, magic of TV.
Well, anytime you're hunting something, like even you're hunting animals or whatever it may be, it's hours of just sitting there and waiting. Not that I know, I don't hunt, but I'm just.
That's true. Or bird watching, sitting there for hours.
Bird watching is more entertaining though, because you actually do see activity. Like there's stuff happening. But if you're waiting for a ghost to show up, you could be waiting for 28 days.
And then you can miss it. Don't blink because you might miss it. It's like that's the thing with the ghosts.
I had to change my stance. We did see it. Well, I didn't see a ghost. You saw a ghost. We were collaborating, and you saw a ghost in my home because I think I had froze, and then you're like, "Oh, it was a ghost." Mm-hmm. And then you knew the story. You knew the whole story. You knew the whole story of the. See, Georgia. But you knew the whole story of what was happening with this particular ghost. Like they had just died. I was just like, get up out of my house.
Yeah, that lady in your block that she died near where you live. I remember now. Yeah. Sometimes I know. Sometimes I can if let's say George's house is haunted right now.
George's like, why me?
George's like, I'm not having it. I'm not having it. But let's say it was. Sometimes I will pick that haunting or that ghost up, and I will be able to sort of connect with them and see what the backstory is. And sometimes I don't. So it really, I love all this stuff.
It's so animated. I love it.
I love it. I love his soundboard. He has a soundboard. He always uses.
I try not to use it when I'm on other people's channels.
Hold on. Data is saying they're.
I feel like that's the best sound.
I agree. They show the reality of how Dawn out. That's a good point, Data, because Data says there are a lot of paranormal activity channels on YouTube. I want guys to introduce you, and for you guys, if you're interested in this stuff, there is one channel on YouTube that I feel is legit. With I wanted to share it with June, but I forgot. But Data reminded me. Thank you. It's the meds, guys. I'm out of it today. But here it is. I want to show you the YouTube channel. It's called Really Haunted. Okay. And it's there's this guy called Lee. He's in the north part of England he lives. And his house, you have to go check out his videos. He's put CCTV everywhere. It's just like
this is his house that he lives in.
This is his house. His wife and kids had to move out. They moved out. They lived in a camper van outside the house because they were so freaked out.
They're living in a van.
They were back in now, and I think now they're moving. Like literally, they're moving. But like, go check out that channel, guys, because the videos are legit. They're long videos, and you can see so much activity, poltergeist activity. You can see all sorts, manipulating Alexa, like in the middle of the
that happens
night.
to me all the time.
Doesn't that freak you out when Alexa's like, I don't understand that command? And it's the middle of the freaking night.
They're listening.
I know they are. So, yeah. Alexa freaks me out sometimes too, but I mean, check that channel out. It's really worth it regarding hauntings and stuff like that. I tell you, I always take things with a pinch of salt, but with this one, my intuition and everything says this is legit. So check it out.
Hmm.
So
I mean, the one little thumbnail that we saw with the man's face. No, I'm good.
where? Hold on, let me pull it
Go
up.
back up. You see the thumbnail with the?
Oh, that's Lee. That's Lee. That's the guy who owns the house.
He looks really haunted.
I just can't believe he's in that house doing. I wouldn't. I mean, it would just take once. I wouldn't put cameras up to prove it to anyone. Enough. I would be enough.
I mean, you see he's making a good coin.
I was gonna say, he's
Oh,
making
yeah.
a very good one.
Well, at least get the family like an apartment or something. Not living in a
Not the van.
They're moving. I think they're moving. I think he recorded his last video in that house, and they're like literally moving now. Because he said that he brought priests in the house. He's brought mediums. I even reached out, and I'm like, because I wanted to bring him on. Like, I'm like, you know, you want to. Obviously, I got ghosted.
No, you know.
So that didn't happen. But guys, since I've got you here, let's talk a little bit, and then I've got something fun. Let's talk about what are your thoughts, because we haven't talked about it, the three of us, or like, you know, one-on-one about the reunion, the Beverly Hills reunion.
I was like, what reunion?
Yeah, that one. I love it.
Sorry, just getting ready.
Okay, go. Hold on, me too.
The reunion. Not a
wow.
I really don't even like Halloween. It's not my holiday. I don't mind it. I love when I see, you know, especially the celebrities get creative every year with all of their Halloween costumes, and they do like videos for them. Like that to me is entertaining, and I can appreciate when people take effort to put something. These cheesy little cheap costumes and things. I'm like, all right. But a lot of people were partying here in New York City for Halloween yesterday. Everybody was out last night.
Like her?
That was her costume from last year, right?
Yeah, I had a pick. Like I had to go through and pick some of the Housewives Halloween costumes. Which one would you say is your favorite? Speaking of
the choices.
Generally of the Housewives, because I couldn't find all of them.
You know who really gets into it? Candy. Candy really get like, to me. This is just like, you know, you can get this from any store. You know,
was
Candy
it Candy that
out.
Was it Candy that dressed up as a native? Native American? Oh, that was Kenya.
That
okay.
was lazy. That was lazy, and someone set her up.
I'm sure. Just like Luann, who dressed up as a. So we're not going to talk about those, but I mean, some of them that I could find was.
You won't see any pictures of them together this upcoming season.
Yeah, no.
That's a good point.
Can you? I mean, I know this is not the intention, but since you brought up the Giudice and the Gorgons, can you pull a card just to let us know will the Gorgons not be returning after this next season? It's man.
Hold on. Do you really want me to?
Yes. Hello.
Here we are.
Since we're talking Housewives, I mean,
ready to move on, you know.
Oh my God. Speaking of moving on, I know you just asked us about the reunion. I want to move on, but I just feel like it's my duty when more stuff comes out. I have to talk about it, but I'm ready to move on. I'm so tired of Kathy, Kyle, Renna. Did you pull a card on Renna if she's coming back?
Georgia, did wait. No, I did. When I did, it was 50-50. That was before the reunion. And it was really 50-50 because she is right now hustling to get money. And I feel that if she gets some kind of other project or some other stream of income, she's not going to come back.
Another project.
Another project. Yeah. So that's 50-50. And to be honest, I really don't feel now, as of now, I don't feel she's coming back.
I don't think she's coming back based off her behavior, her social media, her recent social media behavior, because now I feel like she's really going out there. So I'm like, at first I didn't think that she would leave this job because it's her best job, her best paying job. But her behavior says to me that, maybe they're trying to put her on pause and she doesn't want to come back now, or isn't being offered to come back. I don't know.
I wonder if she also plays into it like she's bluffing a little bit. Like she's going to try to like bluff them into either giving her more money or giving her what she wants. But I don't know.
So you want to know about Melissa and Joe?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Oh yeah.
Melissa's very forgettable. Sorry.
I know, I agree. This is a good sound for what I'm about to say. Guys, I don't see them coming back.
Oh, thank God.
Yep. Teresa's not going to have it. Look at this. I don't think they're renewing a contract. They're not getting any money out of this. I don't see them coming back. But it doesn't mean that they're not going to come back on our screens. Okay, you heard it here first.
Who's gonna get
Are you gonna do a spinoff?
I feel like there might have a spin-off, not this year, but next year. I mean, not 2023, 2024.
I could see that though.
Bravo?
Probably Bravo, but definitely I see
Like no one else is gonna give it to him. Wow. I mean, it's getting ugly between. I mean, it's always been ugly between both families, but now it's gotten to that same space that it was a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
What's the update on Louis? I mean, everyone all of a sudden now I'm looking in the comment section. Now everyone, Louis is so fantastic.
Yeah, how did it all change overnight? It feels
Not
like
me.
you all hated and wanted to like.
And she didn't get a prenup.
I know.
Or
I
a
mean,
post-nup. At least get a post-nup.
Teresa.
or just take a nap, Teresa, and wake up during the divorce. I mean, it's a disaster. Wait, let's have a look. Let's have a quick look, Teresa. And
Sorry, we literally like went. Sorry.
It's a Halloween show. We're having fun today. Why not? We're getting together. We need drinks. I need more meds. We're good.
I don't drink. I don't do meds.
I do all of them
on normal high. Data said that picture, the gun picture with Lisa Rinna was, yeah, it was very cringy. I feel like I was like, and I really, she's denying. Her publicist is denying that she even posted it. That was a photo from her Days of Our Lives era. But so many people that I follow were immediately reacting to it when it was posted allegedly on her Instagram account. It's like, no, she posted and deleted it, like Kathy shaded her during the reunion. See, I brought it back around.
A lot of people said that Patrick Summers had made that meme or something and reshared it, and it looked like it was coming from. It's just the whole thing was so strange, but so like dark.
And then he tagged me. Oh Lord,
did he really?
Alone.
Did
he tagged me? He's like, "Thank you for, I know you don't necessarily like me, but thank you for protecting." I forgot what he said, but I was just like, okay.
He just loves the attention any which way.
So I kind of believe that he is working with Lisa Rinna because she's the same.
Yeah, that contract, that was interesting. Although no one's signature was on it. At least hers, but
it's all shady. I had to reshuffle. What is this with Teresa? Oh, guys, I feel. So, Louis, why everyone keeps saying that Luis is really nice, or Louis, whatever, some people call him Luis, some people Louis, I don't know. But so Louis,
Ruelas, something like that.
Ruelas, so it must be Luis then, if it's Latin sort of, I don't know. Anyway. But here's the thing, guys. I feel they have money problems. I don't think Louis or Luis or whatever you want to call him is doing that great financially or business-wise. And here's the thing. They're moving. And I see double moving. Double moves. So it could be they're moving together to a different home, and then Teresa alone moves out. You can both close your mouths now.
Oh wow. I'm like, didn't they just get into this house?
It's a beautiful house too.
It is beautiful.
Nicer than the other one. But yeah, that's what I'm getting. Oh, Knight of Swords, guys. You know what Knight of Swords also indicates? F-boy in tarot.
But we already knew this. So I find it interesting. You know what it is? And I think this is what we see with the whole Lisa Rinna and Kathy situation. It's the lesser of two evils.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because people do believe that Kathy possibly said it, but they won't say that. I think that's what it is with the Gorgas and Louis. Now the Gorgas are the biggest enemy, so they're just like, Louis is the fantastic guy until he breaks Teresa's heart. Oh, Teresa.
I don't see the divorce anytime soon. Okay, but but I do. And you know what? This is just coming through. When they split up, it's going to be very quiet. So Teresa's going to make sure that we don't find out
Taurus.
until that's right, exactly, until much, much later about what's happening between them.
Oh, Teresa.
You know what I wanted to dress up as this Halloween, but I'm sick now, so I don't think I'm going to any parties. But I wanted to dress up as Teresa at her wedding. Like,
Oh, with the big hair. Oh, that was next year. It's always next year.
There's always next year, yeah, but it's not going to be so, relevant.
Yeah, but people would know as soon as you come in. They'd be like, Teresa.
I think that would be
an iconic moment. That was an iconic moment.
That was an iconic moment. I agree. She looked like Marge Simpson, and I loved it. I'm here for it.
No one expected that.
She does. Yeah. Oh, Data says yes. F-boy Luis gives F-boy vibes. He does. And Teresa for not seeing it. So yeah, reunion. Tell me, what do you guys think? We haven't talked about this. Now that it's over, I haven't watched it, by the way, but I wasn't into it. I've done so many readings around the reunion. I was just not in the mood for it.
Have you not seen any of the parts?
Nope.
What?
I only know what I know.
How have you not seen one of the parts?
I know what I know through your recaps, guys. Both of you. That's it. I'm over it. I'm over it.
Yeah. Well, by the end of part 3, you'll be like, I didn't miss much.
I mean, honestly, we could have done without part 2. I felt like part 2 was a filler episode. I mean, we could have just done part 1 and part 3, like called it a 2-part, because they didn't really give us, in my opinion, I feel like they didn't really give us too much. It was a lot of hyping for no reason.
Per usual with Beverly Hills. They do that a lot. And I don't know why the fans have not just checked out of it, because they do it all the time, every single season. And I think that's part of the reason why people are like, Lisa, you wanted this just so that you have something for the show, because she's not telling her real story.
No, and that's the interesting part, is like, what has she got to hide that they can't touch?
Zesty's saying, okay, the chat is so, I love it. The chat is so passionate about Renna. They're I know, but I get it. And Zesty wants to know, does Renna have dark energy? I'm not going to say dark energy, but I will definitely say that she is, how am I going to put this nicely? Renna's Cancer, right? Is Cancer, is Renna Cancer? Because what I pick up is that like Erica. Those cancers.
A lot of cancers on that show.
True.
That's interesting.
Someone
called my channel. They said there are more Virgo housewives than any other sign, and then second to that is Taurus.
Who else is Taurus? Teresa,
Candy, and probably I don't know. Literally, one of the callers called in and was like, I was bored and did some research, and she's like, Virgos are the number 1 housewives, and Tauruses are the second. I was like, really?
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you would expect, like, housewives, I would expect more Geminis, more Sagittarius. Right. Fiery signs, Aries, Leos.
There's a lot of cancers throughout all the franchises too, which is very strange.
Cancers of all signs, especially, but regarding if she has dark energy, I wouldn't say she's dark per se, but I'm going to say that she's got open wounds and she hasn't worked on herself. I feel that there are things in her past that she hasn't worked on, and she's just
that she hasn't owned.
She hasn't owned. Yeah, she hasn't owned. I agree. I'm going to say that I feel sad for her in a sense. I don't like her. I don't like her behavior either, but I feel sadness because I feel that she is very lost, and she lashes out and comes out of not trauma, but pain. What we see, this aggressive behavior and this pot stirring, med, it's because it's out of pain. So yeah, I mean, and most of us
therapy. What? Therapy. Lisa Rinna needs therapy.
She was recommending therapy for Kathy. He's like, you really need to get help. No, Renna, you need to get some help.
I think Rena's therapist needs therapy. I mean, if I was the Rena therapist.
Has she ever even said it that she's been in therapy? Maybe she had. Oh no, she has said that she's in therapy. It's not working.
It's not working, that's for sure. I need actual reality with my radio. It's also extra fake, overproduced. I agree. Guys, have you watched? By the way, I binged because I wasn't feeling well last night. I binged Dubai Bling Dubai.
I'm in the middle of watching it.
That's on my list. I'm really interested in seeing it. I saw a clip of it and it looks really good.
I much better than the Dubai Housewives. Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I was like, wait, all these rules, I'm thinking they can't go outside the borders. And I see this like Dubai Bling situation. They're like getting really heated. And I'm like, oh, that's not it. You guys are just maybe boring.
or it's Bravo's fault on how they want to do the show.
Bingo. That's what I think.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of these women I saw at BravoCon, they seem to have very big personalities. So
there's something.
Yeah, that is a thing. They do have big personalities. So I don't know.
It's all about that editing and what they
want.
I'll
tell you, it's not just that. I was analyzing this last night because I don't have any serious things to think about, obviously. But one conclusion that I came up with is this format that Bravo brings these strangers together and tells them you have to be friends, you have to pretend to be friends, you have to go on a trip together is no longer working. When you look at Empire Bling, Dubai Bling, Dubai, and all these Netflix shows, you'll see, just like Family Karma, you see they have genuine relationships among them. So the drama is real. Like the drama comes from a real place. That's why I enjoy these shows more than Bravo now, because Bravo is forced.
Yeah. Well, Andy Cohen.
Andy Cohen, which is a good point, because I read somewhere that because I've been saying this with both of you. I've been saying for a long time that Andy is on his way out. He's going to do something completely different. Camp, we did a reading on Andy, I think, on your channel, like,
did we?
A year ago or something, like 2 years
ago.
Yeah,
we did.
We did something. I remember that. And I do feel that now he's the whole thing, for him, it's like the Housewives are his trophies. They made his career, right? They made him.
Oh, without a doubt.
So it's so hard for him to let go. But on the other hand, he does realize that in order to move on or to take that extra step or move up, he has to let go of his trophy housewives.
I mean, he's still going to make money off of them.
I do feel like that they need to figure out a different host to host these reunions, because I think that especially with the Beverly Hills reunion, he's just so, you can tell who he's close to and who he like. It just was interesting too when Erica brought up the homophobic slur, he didn't even want to unpack that anymore.
And that was
it. Unless they obviously maybe he did and they cut it out, but it just felt like there was a couple things where he was just like, okay,
we're on appeal.
If she said that one more time, I was gonna be like, girl, okay, we get it. We're not gonna ask anymore.
But my thing is, as a moderator,
reading it off of her phone, you couldn't remember just that part.
Yeah, but my thing is as a moderator, after she kept on saying it, he's like, well, can you explain what those legal reasons are? Why would you appeal if there is evidence, there are actual receipts that Tom bought these earrings with client funds? Speaking of Tom, they've moved him to another facility because he's progressively getting worse. Is it true?
I was thinking about that actually.
Okay, I'll pull a card.
I'm not laughing at Tom, but I'm laughing at us and our ridiculousness.
I'll pull a card. I'm down. But first, let's answer Zesty's question. Which housewife? What do you guys think?
The darkest energy?
Yeah, out of all of them, out of all current franchises, or generally, Zesty.
Damn, I mean, oof.
That's hard.
I have a few that's jumped into my mind.
Go on.
I want to say Jen-Shah.
Ramona, but no, I think Ramona is who she is and she shows it completely. Jen-Shah is definitely there. Erica Jane, I think, definitely has some dark energy. And I don't necessarily. Lisa Rinna definitely has dark energy, but I think Erica has more than her. But Jen Shaw might be the one.
Yeah, I agree. Jen Shaw really is kind of stuff going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm gonna say as well, Tom, hold on, because I'm pulling cards about Tom. I don't know. I never believed the whole story about Tom, you know that. I also feel that it's all, I don't know. I don't see him being moved though.
Oh.
Tom is not that senile as they want.
You know what?
We're on
He's
a
still
appeal.
doing business on the side.
It's just never mind.
I won't say it. Say it.
The whole thing was just very convenient, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Ish.
Convenient timing.
Allegedly.
He's still making money. Can you believe this? I don't know how or what,
But
he's
how?
still, I don't know. I don't know. But look at this. He's got money. The money is somewhere.
Well, you saw the Bravo docket did a whole breakdown because of a lawsuit where it was revealed how Erica was paying her legal fees.
Mm.
So there is that guy. I can't recall his name right now, but he is the one paying her legal fees, and that is a fact. That's not even alleged.
And we did a reading about that last year, Kempire, and I said, because you asked specifically, you asked who's paying for her legal team, and he came up. And it's not sexual. It's not a relationship, right? It's not an affair. James says
he knows him through Tom, I think, right? That guy. She knows him through Tom.
Yeah. Like, if you go to this guy's Instagram, they've known each other and hung out with each other years ago. So, and he's been putting money in this account for her.
There you go. But I agree that she's got the darkest energy. Leanne from Texas, James just said, I agree. She had really dark energy, like really dark energy. I wouldn't want to be around her, not for an instance, you know.
She circus, so.
Ooh, Dana says Kyle.
Oh, damn. Well, you know why? Data might be right. It's always the ones that don't show you who they are that you should be concerned about. And Kyle is the one behind the scenes really stirring the pot, even against her own family. She's
a Capricorn.
Damn.
Well, you know, if we go back to season 1, I always say you can see who the real Kyle was.
Ooh.
And knows.
And if you watch they did a behind the scenes of season 1, that moment where like her and Kim are getting into it, it's like you can hear Kyle talking to the producers quite a bit. So it's very interesting. And I'm going to go watch it again tonight because I was going to do a little deep dive on Kyle because she has a little pattern to her, but she's playing. People feel sorry for her right now. So
do they?
I mean, there's a good amount of people that feel like Kathy, like, attacked her and like is mean to her and things like that. But I don't think that Kyle's this innocent little fawn.
I don't think so either. I don't think she's evil, but
I think she played up the tears a little bit more.
I mean, she's a fellow Earth sign, so I don't think she's evil.
No.
You know, Capricorns,
you don't like Capricorns.
No, I like Capricorn. I do like Capricorns. I have friends that are Capricorns, but Capricorns can be dark. They are depressive a little bit. So that sort of in real life, in my personal space, that messes up my energy. So, but I have friends that are Capricorn, so I can't say anything about that. But Natalie, thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much. Replay crew here. Love your lives, but also with Kemp and friends. I love it too. I love having you guys here. And I know that everyone was super excited. We've got 75 people in the chat.
This is
insane. Don't forget to subscribe.
Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. And if you haven't subscribed already to the other two guys over here, please go ahead and subscribe to them too. Oh, wow. And Sage Moon says she totally agrees with you, Georgia, by the way.
Thank you, Sage.
I'm a Capricorn, Sun, Taurus, Moon, Taurus, Rising. Oh, lol.
Oh.
That's a lot of Earth energy.
You're very grounded.
Very grounded.
Oh, too grounded.
Too grounded, and you love food. That Sun, Taurus, Moon, and Taurus.
But we would get along just observing. We would get along.
Yeah. I love that's a lot, but that would be interesting to know where your Venus is as well and your Mars. So everyone agrees with you, Gio, about Kyle. I don't remember what she was like in the first season.
She was pot stirrer, but not as edited and produced. It was very like it was just more raw. Like she was picking on Kim a lot more, like picking on her. There's a moment where Kim's moving, where Kyle already knew what she was looking for and what issues she's already going, but Kyle was like purposefully bringing them up during the conversation because Kim didn't like, I think it was like one of the houses Kim didn't like, and Kyle was trying to be like, why are you being so picky when you don't even have, like, basically like alluding to the fact like your life's upside down, like she'd be happy with anything that we are gonna, and then it comes out later obviously that she's been helping her financially, but she kind of like toys on these little things that you can kind of see that are off with Kim a little bit. Like I kind of spotted the alcohol thing in season 1 pretty quickly, but that was because of Kyle, because of the way she alluded to it.
I want to know
okay? Is Kim okay? And it's like, what do you mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I want to know what Kim thinks of this whole feud. I know, obviously she's on Kathy's side, but I wonder. I wonder where her head is when it comes.
I think Kim's feelings are the way Kim felt about the whole dog bite situation.
I'm going to pull a card about Kim to find out.
We need to know the future of these sisters. Look, we all know toxic family, and I do believe that there is a toxic situation here. So I'm not completely like, oh, Kyle, get over it. I'm just like, why are you making this play out on television? If you really want to keep your family together, like, get it off of television.
Oh, that's a good point.
If she had a choice.
I really feel like Kyle wanted to just out those two sisters so that she could prove something to both of them and to herself. And because why would you do that? Why would you bring your other sister on when you've already just had issues with her?
Yeah, like literally just had issues with her. Oof.
I could tell you regarding Kim, back to Kim, she's working hard to bring all of them together. Kim is becoming the peacemaker here.
Wow.
Okay? Because I've got the 3 of Cups here. And but she's heartbroken. She's so disappointed in Kyle. And it's so hard work to get them together. I feel that this is this discord in their relationship between the 3 of them has been going on for a very long time, for years. This is what I'm getting. Okay. And Kim is the voice of reason here, but she doesn't know how to, I don't think Kathy and Kyle are speaking, like talking right now. They're not in speaking terms. They're texting. They're what? They're texting.
They're texting. That's what they both said in interviews. We've been texting.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't believe that.
I don't believe it. I don't believe that there is anything between them right now. So she's sort of in the middle and she's trying to sort of bring them together. That's where her head is at. And yeah, it doesn't look good, guys. It just doesn't. I feel that these sisters need space, especially Kyle from the 2, from Kathy and Kim and Kathy from Kyle. And I think this is what's going to happen now eventually. So it's sad. It's sad for them, but I agree with you. Why would you go on a show? Why would you, if there are already issues there and the foundations are already not so stable, why would you put yourself out there? The coin's so powerful, I guess. So,
but Kyle already like voiced to Erica and Lisa what happened at the, like, almost like she was glad that it was being brought up on the show. She just, that never before seen when they show that part, and then it's like, and I'm like, oh wait, you knew? Because in my mind, if that was my sister, I would have put a stop to it being talked about like immediately. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like if I was really going to be concerned about it.
Yeah, but she wanted it. Damn it.
I agree. So let me see what the chat is saying, and then I think we'll wrap it up slowly because, guys, I'm starting not to feel well. I'm sorry. The fact that I made it, it's a miracle. Or trying to keep it together. Cousins were all at a baby shower. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's sad all over. You know, it's not nice when families feuding and everything. So, what's this? Was the mom toxic. Maybe it started with her. Well, apparently that's what they're. Georgia, I think you read or you've seen the American, whatever it's called, that show that Kyle, that
House of
semi.
Opens.
Yes, and apparently Big Kathy was very. She really groomed her girls to.
I mean, I think the thing too is that there's just a really big difference between the way Kathy grew up and what she had to deal with versus what Kyle had to deal with. And I think there's already this like underlying, like, you don't even know the half of it, little girl mentality that Kathy has with her. Like, it came up at the reunion when she was like, I thought Kyle was being sweet and she was going to do a tasting for me, because why wouldn't she do that for me? We're on the show together and she knows that I'm promoting this tequila, and then come to find out that's not what she's doing. So in her mind, but she admitted that, which I did appreciate. I wasn't sure how that was going to go, but she said a lot more than I thought she was going to say. There's definitely a lot cut out though.
Oh yeah, including Renner's.
It was going back and forth. I was like, wait a minute, we didn't just jump into this like this. This is a little too, you know what I mean? There's no warm up to it or anything.
No, I agree.
Big Kathy was strong and specific with her girls.
Well, she had dreams for her girls, but I don't know how happy her girls are right now. I mean, Kim's got an addiction issue. Kyle's got anxiety issues, and Kathy is everything's hunky dory.
Everything's Kathy.
Everything's Kathy Dory. So there you go. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining the Halloween show. I really appreciate it. I've missed you, Kempire, so much, having you here and collabing. And I just wanted to have you two here on the show as well, because I know people love it. And I love it too. I love Halloween. You know that. It's very spiritual. I do feel that the veil is thinning during Halloween. And I've been feeling it as well. So I don't know if I'm gonna get any ghosts tonight after the conversation. I don't think so. I think I'm gonna pass out. I'm gonna pass out with everything.
I don't get any ghosts.
I'm gonna sage my house after this.
Yeah, I think I will as well, actually. But it's a good idea on Halloween to sage your house. So, guys, thank you so much, everyone. Please let everyone know where they can find you if they're new here and they don't know who you are, which I doubt it, but you might as well. Kemp, you start, and then we go with Giorgio.
You can find me on YouTube, Kempire Radio, all the things.
Giorgio.
At Giorgio Says on YouTube and TikTok, and at Giorgio Not Armani on Instagram for everything else.
Yay, the enthusiasm. All right, everyone. Great Halloween show. Thank you guys
safe
for
out there,
here.
kiddos.
Thank you to the chat as well for being such an incredible community. You are part of you've created such an incredible community here, chat, and I really, really appreciate you. And you cannot imagine how grateful I am for having you guys and having you guys as friends as well. So thank you again. Happy Halloween.
Thank you.
Feel better, Natalie.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm going to go and pass out now. Happy Halloween, everyone. Thanks
Happy
for coming.
Halloween. Bye.
Bye.
Whoa.
Bye.